Without further ado, we have a second replay that we're going to check, and this time is on Dragonshire once again, played by our one and only MOSTARS team, which seems to be doing great. The last game, let's see, this has been played on September the 13th, so it was earlier this week. I think it was last week actually, so pretty
well, today is the 19th, so
that's some
6
math.
days ago. 6 days ago.
I left math back in high school, so I'm okay with that. But let's fire this baby up. Let's see what's gonna happen on Dragonshire. Of course, we're gonna go right into the game without seeing the actual draft, which would be nice, but in this case we're actually only analyzing the replay. And let's take a quick look at their pick. For the blue team on the left, they have Vala, Rhaegar, the Haka, Tassadar, and Tyrael. Now the Haka is probably going to be the designated solo pusher, with the Z coming back into the fight. Rhaegar, Vala is a really solid auto attack champion, and it looks like they're gonna use her for a hyper carry with that Tassadar to buff her really well. And Tyrael as their designated frontline. What do you think of the blue team's picks?
They lack CC against this team. And Chromie, I mean, we should present the red team. They have anub'arak, Tyrande, and Stukov, Chromie, and Greymane. The red team's comp looks more solid a bit, just because Chromie, if she lands her combo on a Tassadar, then Tassadar is kind of afraid to go in against a, like, there's a Greymane on the field, so Greymane is gonna be like, I want to jump on you. They have a lot of squishies and they don't have a lot of CC. That's gonna be their main problems in the early game. And Tyrande is going Sentinel build, so Sentinel build against this team is pretty strong, at least late game. If Tyrande hits a owl on some squishy, then it's gonna take away a lot of HP, and they can just poke and poke and poke before the fight, and they'll probably win just by poking, honestly.
We do see a slight change in roster, and we do see Marcelian going back on his main role as a tank, quickly jumping in as anub'arak, trying to get as much stun as possible. Greymane is trying to do some backline damage, and we do see a pretty big fight. They are 5-man on the middle, while the Haka's clearing some top lane, getting some of that XP. We do have Pahomey on the support, which he is the backup support that we have, and Vala gets pushed back to the spawning well.
Oh,
amount of damage. Oh, I missed that. That was a Chromie shot, wasn't it?
No, the Tyrande sniped the Vala.
Tyrande sniped. You're gonna see a lot of snipes. I need to keep up. Greymane went back on top to so the lane. He has taken quite a bit of damage from that. The Haka. Now
and then they catch Rhaegar here.
Bot.
Is Rhaegar gonna escape?
Looking for that silence. Oh, to another chamber snipe. Doesn't seem like it. Rhaegar is retreating in a very roundabout spot, but that Chromie is looking for blood, trying to get some flank damage. In the meantime, very hard fight between Greymane and anub'arak at the top. Greymane goes into Organ Form to do that extra attack damage, but he gets taken out. The Haka proving to have a lot of sustain with that passive.
That's a big blow for the red team. Just the Haka killing Greymane is a lot of XP missed on top lane, and now the blue team is also soaking mid lane. I don't know why Rhaegar is going for top lane, honestly, but they're missing 2 waves of soak. Like, mid lane is not soaked, top lane is not soaked. They're already like almost 1 level ahead.
It does seem like the red team is a little bit behind in XP. Almost a full level right about now. Marcelian is looking to do some defense on the bottom shrine with that Stukov zoning and the silence, although he is flanked by Tassadar, forcing him to release, and that too is looking for blood. anub'arak doesn't have any mana left to fight, and Stukov is looking pretty low. Chromie is also really low. The red team doesn't seem to be able to take this further.
Greymane died again on top lane.
Definitely seems Greymane is having a hard time against that. The Haka. Rhaegar is there as well, though. Nobody soaking the mid lane. Still a level behind for the red team. With that well on Marcelian, he's looking for some offensive plays to do. He did miss his burrow, but Chromie's trying to do some damage. The Haka coming back from behind, although Tyrael died. It does seem like that Chromie might be in a little bit of trouble. The Haka's trying to do some damage, but he's still 2 levels ahead. The anub'arak falls down, and now the blue team is pushing strong with 2 levels advantage. Greymane fighting top against that Rhaegar. Still nobody soaking mid, although the Haka does seem to be on the job.
And they can take DK. They can take Dragon Knight as well from mid lane and start destroying the structures and getting to level 7 really fast.
We do see blue team picking that. Dragonite, Hellhunter commenting on his amazing Greymane plays. That's okay, Wiz. Let's see what this is going to do. That Chromie trying to do some harassment damage, obviously. Not going to do very much against that Dragonite with her abilities. But they do seem to be putting some pressure down. anub'arak punches through the wall to do some hero damage. And they do seem to be keeping that Dragonite at bay for the moment.
Greymane died again on top of him.
Greymane died again against Rhaegar. Looks like he's not having the best day of his life. Almost 2 levels lead again for the blue team. They are a talent ahead right now. Red team should just stay behind. People are just getting knocked about. Tyrael is looking for something to do. Although that Stukov is working overtime to do that extra healing. It looks like he's keeping his team alive as much as he can. Dragonite almost over. And that
the red
team
team
dealing
also
more damage almost than the Dragonite. Look at that.
The red team has a big problem with their composition because they have a Chromie and a Greymane and a Tyrande, and they basically have no designated solo laner, not someone who can deal with the top lane non-stop and just take the top shrine. And because they committed to this, they also have a really squishy backline, which is kind of a pain against. They will try to dive them, I think, with the Haka and Tyrael.
Now there's 3 people from the red team against the 4 people from the blue team. They might want to back up. Oh, Tyrande comes back from the back lines. Tashdar is pretty low, but we all know that Tashdar can escape a sticky situation. anub'arak, oh, that's the Hawk actually getting pushed back. Greymane has gotten some control on his lane, but looks like the Hawk and Rhaegar are gonna try for a gank. But seems like Greymane might have learned his lesson and went back. But let's see if this is...
No, he doesn't go back. And
oh, they jumped on him with a totem, slowing him down. But doesn't seem like the hacker is going to follow up. So Greymane looks like he's going to be escaping this. No, he fights with the...
Oh, Rhaegar just jumped in. Rhaegar just jumped into the fort.
Yeah, he jumped into the fort with no minions. He might die. Not quite. But Chromie comes back. Let's see if she gets a kill enough. No, but a lot of damage. And we see some harassment doing at bottom, but only with the anub'arak and Stukov. They're probably just going to hold the lane until Tyrande is probably going to go back to help.
Tyrande scouts Rhaegar here. And she knows they're doing this camp now.
Rhaegar definitely did start the camp. Let's see if red team is going to contest or at least put some pressure. That Tyrande seems to be on top of the situation. She knows she does the stunts. She hits everybody now, but that the
very risky play. Very risky play from the red team here, going this 3-man on for this camp. If they don't get kills now, this is kind of a bad situation for them.
Might be a little bit overcommitted, but Greymane gets pulled by the Haka. They are in a pretty tight position. Stukov is left without any protection, and he gets pulled by the Haka. Is he gonna die? He's taking a lot of damage. Looks like he is. Nah, he fall down. Chromie is trying to put some pressure from the backline, but the Haka seems to be putting a pressure back on her. Greymane seems to have escaped. Let's see if he's gonna get all the way back home. That Vala keeping tabs on him. She might get him just one more auto attack. One more
No.
Doesn't seem like it. anub'arak taking the shrine on bottom. Pretty low on his HP, trying to fight those siege giants. We see the Haka playing a really strong pushing game at the top lane.
I just want to point out the blue team picked Archon and Bloodlust.
Indeed, look at that. Archon and Bloodlust with Strafe. I thought that Rhaegar might try something cheeky with a Bloodlust, and it seems like we might be seeing some interesting team fights. Doesn't seem like Chromie is going to be enough to clear that camp, and the Haka pushing really hard. They lost the bottom shrine as well, and Tassadar is picking up the dragon. Once again, the blue team has the dragon, going to be pushing again on mid lane. Greymane is cleaning up on bottom. Chromie still having trouble with that camp. Maybe not the best person to do that defense. The dragon seems to be taking the fort anytime soon now.
Basically, the red team really needs to regroup and get level 10 and take a fight with the blue team and try to win it.
Oh, that Rhaegar caught up position. He did went for a greedy wolf bite, but got bitten instead. It looks like during that whole team fight, the blue team seems to be pushing the bottom forts. Red team is quickly back to defend. Is it going to be on time though? Dragonite might just not carrying. It seems like it is. The fort goes down. Fort goes down on top as well. Chromie retreating with not a lot of mana left. anub'arak jumping back on the back line. Stukov taking some very heavy dragon hits, and he might just go down. Stukov does go down. anub'arak cocoons the target, and we might see a Tyrael kill as well. Maybe not. Sanctification saves him. Now anub'arak falls down. Tyrande falls down as well, and looks like a pretty tough team fight for the red team in this case.
Well, they did take a 5v4 team fight.
That Greymane doing the ring around the Rosie against the Haka. Not very much he might have survived against the Haka and that bush speed. Chromie is still the only one that can actually clear some minions at this point. They did get level 10. They are still a talent behind, mind you, but they did get that level 10.
This game is still doable to win, so it's not a big problem that they're behind 3 levels right now. They can just recuperate a bit later. Just get, if they win one single fight, it's just basically
that Rhaegar jumping one more time right on that Chromie. anub'arak follows up really quick with 2 stuns. Is it gonna be enough? They're all fighting that Chromie slow, and the Bloodlust goes down. Tyrael and Tatched are being the only ones that can actually benefit from that. Vala is very weird position right now. Bloodlust expired with not much to it. The red team seems to be holding pretty strong considering they're 2 levels behind. Rhaegar is pushing with 2 camps on bottom, but he is out of position. He might be caught here by the red team. It does seem like it. He has nowhere to escape, getting body blocked by Chromie. Some
that flailing swipe.
Flails might save Rhaegar actually.
Stukov is body blocking Rhaegar, but he didn't realize that Rhaegar can just bite him and get a bit of more distance.
Yes, and it seems like the blue team turned around and killed that Tyrande. The camps are still pushing really hard with only 1 tower left. The Haka is still soaking at top, 3 levels ahead for the blue team. And red team is struggling to keep the fort, well in this case keep the keep. That's a little bit awkward. But it seems like the blue team is retreating for now.
I think the red team should abuse more of this Rhaegar because he's always out of position. We can say he's basically biting more than he can chew. Pun not intended.
Indeed, and we see that the Haka trying to do a very sneaky camp. Is the red team gonna notice? Doesn't seem like it. He might just be in time.
Oh.
Looks like not. Looks like he will be able to sneak that siege camp very good. They're going to put some high pressure on the top lane, making it easy for the Haka to take this shrine, and that's what he does with his Z ability. Bottom lane is blue seems to be taken away with Vala and Tyrael on bottom. Red team is going back to defend against that bruiser camp, and looks like the Haka might not be able to get away this time. anub'arak seems to jump in. Red team a little bit behind on the follow-up. Rhaegar is trying to zone that Greymane. Greymane turns around with the bullet on Rhaegar. Quickly jumps into organ form, but he is backing away. Is he going to escape from that wolf bite? He might need to disengage really quick, and he goes down from the Rhaegar, but Rhaegar is out of position one more time. Let's see if the blue team does end up stunning him into the Chromie W, and
Vala coming in with a strafe as well.
Yeah, Stukov seems to be out of position. Vala took him out with strafe as well. Then blue team took the dragon again, while Tyrael is pushing bottom
bot lane.
Indeed, exactly. Bottom is being pushed with the sieges and Tyrael. The keep might go down now. The red team needs to make a decision. Are they going to defend mid? Are they going to defend bottom? Seems like they're going to be focused on mid more likely, but Tyrael is still a long way of taking that keep down. With the ultimate from Tyrande, they might be able to hold on to both of these keeps. Dragon Knight is wasting some time trying to switch from lane to lane. It's like more backline damage from the Chromie. They seem to be able to take this keep. anub'arak turns around and goes onto the backline. He is taking a lot of damage though, and he goes down.
Blue team has destroyed a fort.
Well, the blue team did obtain their objective. Is like they wanted just the keep. They don't really want to fight here. They just want the keep, so they have constant pressure on bot lane, and then they're happy with it.
They did indeed end up taking a keep and taking a cockroach down with them, and the Dragon Knight still has some chunky HP of 42% still. That Vala getting poked by that Chromie. Very nice damage from the Chromie. Looks like they're gonna force the blue team to retreat. Dragon Knight actually expired, so back to a more relaxed game. But looks like still some.
I must say this game is action packed. Like they're fighting non-stop. There's no moment where I can commentate something.
Yeah, man, I'm feeling so sorry, butting all over you. But looks like we do have some downtime. Maybe you can. Talk about the ultimate choices. Why do you think they might have went with Bloodlust?
Well, I think they realized that the sanctification is gonna guarantee that Vala doesn't die. So basically just empower Vala, and Tassadar anyway picked Archon, so it's just Bloodlust and Archon is like a deadly combination. Only thing I want to just say is like if Tassadar went for the auto attack build instead of the W build, he would have been much more stronger in these fights. And they have a lot of auto attackers in their team that benefit from Bloodlust. Not necessarily from the attack speed, but the movement speed is just helpful for the Haka, for example, when he wants to tank people. Movement speed is helpful for Vala as well in dodging, because they have a Chromie, they have a Tyrande, they have a lot of skills that need to actually be aimed. So I think they just went like, okay, we have Tyrael, if something goes bad, we're just gonna sanct and let's just fight them non-stop.
Looks like blue team is gonna be pushing pretty hard with that bruiser camp, and that Rhaegar keeps jumping in with that wolf. anub'arak quickly turns around to try to catch him, but with Tyr falling through and a lot of AoE damage from that strafe, looks like red team is forced to retreat for now. Chromie doing some damage from that range. They are doing a really aggressive push into that corridor. That's Stukov ult pushes everything back. Now anub'arak jumps back in, and
what is that sanctification?
that was a weird sanctification from Tyrael. That might have cost him this this objective. Now Rhaegar's pretty low. Greymane jumping in for the kill. Now they're pushing back. Red team seems to be in a really solid position. Vala falls down. Now with only Tassadar alive, and Haka couldn't actually find a way to go and help his team. That probably assisted the red team in taking that fight. Now they look to be in a really good position to take the dragon this time. And the Haka is still going to take the top. Tassadar might need to go back. I don't think he's going to be able to do very much at this point. Don't want to get that HP back. Probably conceding the Dragon Knight to the red team might be a good idea, considering that they still have a 3-level lead at this point. Almost level 20 with that talent.
Well, the red team's job is now is to take the decay and take as many camps as possible on the map. Just try to somehow get to level 20. Even if they take every single camp, they need all of the forts to go down for them to come really close to level 20. So DK plus the camps pushing on the other lanes might be enough pressure for them actually to get level 19 and then just grind it till 20. Also, the red team should have left someone on bot lane to just sit there against the Tassadar and take the DK. Now everyone is leaving from top lane and the Haka is taking top lane.
Right, the rotation seems to be a little bit off, kind of like a Benny Hill race. The blue team might have a hard time contesting. They're still 3 levels ahead, 2 levels at this point, and they're forced to be a little bit split. Rhaegar is on mid. They might be looking to catch them a little bit off guard, and anub'arak jumps on Vala, gets a double stun going. Greymane bullet, Greymane jump, and Vala almost getting killed with that shield, with those Tassadar shields. It seems like she's going to be able to come back around. Now the blue team comes back around, and a lot of AoE damage on the red team. Doesn't seem like the red team is going to be winning this. That cocoon didn't help them go back into the game. They did lose Greymane, and now they're on the retreat path. Stukov trying to silence and pushing everybody back, giving some respiro to his team. Hopefully going back, and the Bloodlust is getting popped. The silence, the anub'arak stun, gaining those precious seconds of Bloodlust so that they cannot take too much damage. Chromie's a little bit awkward placed, but she does have that that hourglass. Seems like the red team managed to dodge a very, very bad position. Blue team got the dragon again. With that push, they were able to secure it really nice. Now, let's see if they're going to do very much with it, considering that, well, they're level 20 now. But red team seems to be doing better and better at defending and taking better engagements. They're still missing that Greymane, which actually just spawned at this moment.
Well, they're starting to get to late game, and late game is where this team shines. Chromie late game is such a beast. Like, just one single combo and one guy and he's out of the fight. anub'arak is pretty decent in the late game, but we must not ever forget the Tyrande Owl's late game. Right now she doesn't have a lot of stacks.
That nice damage on the Chromie. She did place her ulti to kind of force for the enemy team to be split from the Dragon Knight. Then anub'arak goes in, gets a double, triple stun. A lot of AoE damage. The Dragon Knight is kind of in an awkward position, and that Tyrael taking a lot of damage from the Chromie. That slow ult from Chromie, really good in positioning. They're forcing them back. Another anub'arak jump in, another stun. The blue team is in with really low HP. The Sanct saves, but the backline falls. Dragon Knight with almost no HP. Is the Haka going to survive this? The red team only lost anub'arak, while the blue team lost 2 people, and they still don't have the level 20, so they seem to be in a really strong position.
Well, that's why you never siege on top lane and in this map. That bridge is just like a big choke and it cuts off your retreat, and this is what happens. Like, Chromie hit a lot of people, the Stuk of Silence was really strong, the Chromie slow ultimate. This is why you never, like, they had the option to siege mid They could have just went mid and take the mid keep instead of like trying to do this weird thing where they went top lane and just walked into everything, like shot the Starfall as well is really effective. Tyrael's Sank was super late as well.
And they did pop it a little bit late, and it didn't help the backline, which was actually the ones that were spawned. And we didn't actually say this too much, but those Tyrande Owls, they've been helping the red team quite a lot now. They've been giving information as to where everybody else is positioned, helping them rotate a little bit smoother now in the late game. And we do see both team getting the camps, as many camps as possible. They might be looking to contest the bottom camp. Looks like the red team is bringing in the full cavalry, while the blue team still only has 2 people. They might realize that it might be a little bit too risky to contest that. Tyrael is waiting in a bush, maybe to catch somebody off guard. Everybody's looking to position. Now the anub'arak has been spotted by those storms. It looks like they're jumping in, and the damage is insane. They pop Bloodlust, but they have to retreat. That anub'arak is going to cocoon and going to retreat. He has been taking a lot of damage. Tukov saves anub'arak, but there's still 5 people. And the anub'arak goes into the stun, gets sniped before he gets the stun. That was pretty hilarious to see. Although I still don't think the blue team has what it takes to push through this. There's a lot of backline damage. Vala getting sniped by that Chromie. Whittling down slowly but surely. They did get their level 20. Rhaegar is going to take a lot of damage if he doesn't retreat right now. Tassadar is in that slow. Charlie takes a lot of damage, but Tassadar gets jumped by Greymane, getting pushed and slowed, and gets killed. And now Rhaegar is going to die as well. Looks like the red team seems to be turning things around, and they should be able to get top with no problem and maybe take the Dragon Knight for the first time in the game.
Okay, I just want to talk about Tyrael's build. He went a really weird build on Tyrael, and I don't see the reasoning behind it. He has the damage in his team, I guess. Since they planned that they're gonna pick Bloodlust, he said like, okay, I'm just gonna go auto-attack build as well, just to benefit from the Bloodlust. But I don't think this is the way to actually play Tyrael.
Probably now. Maybe I should send the PM to that Tyrael. We have a guide on Tyrael, guys. The builds that we've put out might be a little bit better. Is the most all-around build. Maybe the extra zoning that the Tyrael could have gotten from that Q would have been a little bit better than what he has right now. But the blue team seems to be contesting really hard. The bottom lane, anub'arak is at top, trying to soak some of that XP. Well, not soak, but you know, stop the minions from pushing the keep. Now the red team is turning around. It is a 4v3 fight with that Stukov zone. The blue team is gonna rotate back, and looks like we got everybody from the blue team. Tassadar is still not here. Rhaegar is still not here. There's still 3 people. anub'arak is looking for some way to go in, but he does stun the Tyrael. He probably doesn't want to engage on that Tyrael. Tyrael is still the tank, the main tank. Everybody's rotating mid. Everybody's kind of split a little bit from the blue team. Red team kind of sticking a lot more together. Blue team seems to be waiting in an ambush in that bush because they know that the red team has the objectives now. They might be looking to get the dragon.
The blue team is also staying on mid. They're not trying to take top lane right now. They're sending Vala to take to top lane, but they're basically trying to bait the red team in, like the guy who takes the DK, we're gonna jump. But the red team is okay. Let's just check this before we
with Chromie. Oh my god, Chromie gets a 3 people W. That's what you get from trying to wait into a Chromie. Now that owl flies. They still haven't taken the top. They did take some damage. They're going to go into this fight with not a lot as much as HP, but anub'arak waiting for that backup stun, and they did take the dragon. Blue team couldn't contest it quick enough. We got a cocoon out for that anub'arak, going back on that Rhaegar. anub'arak chases the Rhaegar, but is Chromie, and Rhaegar gets to save the Chromie from the enemy team, pushing them back, offering some really fantastic support.
Oh, and he throws the Haka in the back line.
Throws the Haka in the back line. That could have been proved fatal for Chromie, but it does seem like the Haka was a little more concerned about surviving. That Tyrael gets sniped by Chromie, and looks like the red team is now 2 peoples ahead. And that push for Tassadar in the back lane. That Roby guy is doing some serious work with that Dragon Knight. Not focusing on taking forts, although there's still all the forts alive. Focusing more on getting those kills, because we all know at level 20 all of these respawn times might turn out to be a little bit better than actually taking a fort.
So the red team takes a fort at 22 minutes in game. That's how hard they have to.
That's something that we need to know down exactly.
But the blue team started fouling when they tried to siege the top keep, and they just gave the red team too many fights that they won, and now they're actually on the same level.
all of these small wins here and there, every hero pickups that they get, because the blue team seems to be a little bit more split up than the red team is. Slowly but surely turns into a delayed respawn time, and the red team can simply get some map advantage with still catapults pushing the core though on the red team. Probably not going to do very much.
Well, they didn't do a lot with this decay as well. I think they should have done more with the decay. Maybe send a decay on a lane to get the fort and push with the other 4 on another lane and take another fort. Also, I just want to point out the level 70 Randy talent. True Shot Aura in this situation I think is better because it actually gives more damage to Chromie. So Chromie's build is situated around damage, so basically 15% more damage or 25% I think. It's just like Chromie probably deleting someone in one shot. Just as a side note.
Well, a lot of talents can be chosen in hindsight. So far, so good. It seems the red team seems to be coming back. Now they're taking camps, mirroring the blue team, although the blue team seems to be in a really good position for taking the bottom camps. Doesn't seem like they want to do it. They are a little bit awkwardly positioned, but the Haka, we all know he can jump into the fight as soon as things get dicey. Now we do see a pickup on the Tiro for being way too aggressive. That anub'arak gets to pick him off with the help of his team, of course.
Basically, in late game, when someone dies, it's just 1 minute that you can do whatever you want on the map just because you're 5 and they're 4. So this death from Tyrael in the late game is actually way more important than it actually seems like it. Like, they're gonna take bottom camp and now they're gonna take bottom fort. Even if the Haka is top lane, they can easily send someone to defend because there's still the fights is 4v4, is not 5v4.
Yes, indeed. With that Tyrael death gives a huge advantage for the red team. The Haka still trying to do some push at the top with the camp as well. Of course, he can always jump in to assist his team, but looks like Stukov is going to retreat. Oh no, that might have been just a reflex. Trond is really aggressive. Trond is trying to do some damage in the front line, although she does have the quick backup of anub'arak and Greyman pretty close by. Now we see anub'arak at top versus that Chromie. Does end up taking the tower down. Chromie's trying to punch him through. anub'arak goes back down, trying to do some damage. anub'arak jumps down. No, okay, Bloodlust gets popped. Cocoon gets popped, and they're jumping on the Stukov, but Stukov has that flailing strike to save him. They're 4v5, no, actually 4v4 with Hero still being dead. Now Chromie jumps in with that slow, and look at that Vala dying from the Chromie combo. Tassadar escaping with a sliver of health, and Rhaegar at the bottom getting punched by that Greymane. Now with only a couple of people left, we can count Tassadar out of the fight. Tyrael is back, but always late for the party in this case. anub'arak dodging that fatal Chromie combo, but doesn't escape the rest of the stuns and the silence from Stukov.
The correct call here after this fight is just to go to their core. I think just siege mid lane and end the game, honestly. Because they're already losing mid lane and top lane. Because look, you might have not noticed, but the creeps were pushing top lane and mid lane, and they took a bit of damage of the keeps. Although what they're doing is it's just the safe play, taking DK and trying to end, but honestly, now they basically give the enemy team, like, until DK reaches keep and they kill keep, everyone from the enemy team is gonna be up, so they can actually take another fight. And just because Tassadar takes this bot lane, by the way, a lot of damage.
Almost 50% of his HP from one owl scares that Tassadar away. I think he might have had enough time to take that shrine back, but he does delay the Dragonite. However, he might not be able to do anything against anub'arak, and looks like Greyman is gonna be taking the Dragonite this time, and they're gonna be looking to do a mid lane push, taking that keep down, possibly looking for a core. Now, Tassadar is still in an awkward position. The red team is still a bit split up. They seem to be looking for the blue team. They probably don't know where everybody is. They might be looking for a race. Look at this.
Oh, base race? Let's go.
Oh, look at this. Tassadar sneaking about. The Haka sneaking about, but they do have Dragonite and they're actually hitting the core. The blue team is losing a lot of HP really fast, and the race might not work out in favor of the blue team, and the red team takes the win with a turnaround, with maybe not the best team fight decision or the base race decision that the blue team made.
27 minutes of just killing, and we ended all with the base race. What a game. What a game.
Look at this. 21 kills for 17 kills. Feels like a quick match, man. Looks like quick match stats. Look at that. The Haka with some very impressive siege damage. Just a little bit ahead of Greymane though. And Tassadar, top hero damage of the game. Looks like he's been working overtime. Really, really interesting game.
Archon and Bloodlust.
Archon and Bloodlust. That's the new meta, boys. Gotta pick that Rhaegar and Tassadar in Hero League now.
If you enjoyed the video, make sure to also check us out on twitch.tv/MarcelianOnline. You just hit that follow button and you'll be notified whenever we stream.
We stream every day of the week from 12 PM Pacific Standard Time and 9 PM Central European Summer Time. See you there!